All right, let's continue this meeting, shall we? We have information item, discipline suspension report. We're up to, no, that was an information item. Suspension report was an information item. We're up to 13.1, curriculum minus the CMI safety plan. This is the amended portion. So I need a motion for the item minus CMI.
I make a motion.
Okay, Jose?
So moved.
Ed?
I mean, second.
A second.
I was late.
Okay. Anybody need any information on this? Safety plans? Okay. Please vote. Okay. Action item, approval of the 2014-15 second interim financial report with a positive certification of the Paris Union High School District's financial condition.
So moved.
Thank you. And? Carolyn. Okay.
Present to you the Thank you, Joseph. We can do this. So we're presenting the second interim financial report. I'll do my best to be as brief as I have in prior presentations to you. I know it's been a long board meeting, and there's a few things in here that are fairly important to try and communicate with you. So I'll do my best to outline those specific points of importance and try and give you as much time as is appropriate for the presentation. So at this point, we have the budget and NYP assumptions that are being used. We're continuing to use the assumptions that are recommended by School Services of California. We have the Lcff gap funding, the COLA, the STRS rates, and the PERS rates. I do have the 2017-18 numbers up there because I am starting to work on the next fiscal report. What you should notice, though, here is that the Cal STRS and Cal PERS rates are continuing to climb fairly drastically within, the next 3 years, 4 years. We have almost a 5% increase. So what I have for you is the unrestricted general fund summary. What we start with is the beginning balance for our second interim report. Please note that the beginning balance is the ending balance of the prior year. So again, this year we started out with $6.2 million, which was the ending balance from the 2013-14 school year. As we're working through that, what you'll notice is that we have the expenditures. We have the net increase or decrease. Currently this year, we still have a deficit spending. As we're ongoing, we do have the 15-16 and 16-17 currently show as an increase to the ending fund balance. That again is because we haven't identified some of the goals through the Lcff to be able to work with those expenditures. We have the total ending fund balance identified after looking at the beginning balance, the expenditures, and the revenues. What you should note also is that we're identifying the specific things that are within the Lcff that have a restricted dollar amount to them, things that we have something specific to spend on. So within the LCAP, we're identified to spend on some of the Common Core mandated costs, or we're talking about the supplemental or concentration or CTE funds. Finally, you have the net ending balance. What you should note right here is that we're currently at 5.47% at our ending balance. We're required by the county to maintain a 3%, and that's the minimum requirement. We must keep at least that as our ending fund balance. As we go in, there's a definite comparison between the old revenue limit and the new LCFF funding formulas. What we should identify is that the revenue limit, we used to have a COLA as our increase. That increase was always available for negotiations. The categorical programs, the federal, state, and local categoricals were not necessarily available. In the old revenue limit, we had two different funds. We had a Fund 03 and a Fund 06. The Fund 06 we never really talked about because that was that restricted fund. At this point now, if we jump over to the LCFF funding model, they've taken a lot of the old categorical funds and they pushed it into our Fund 03. So our general fund, because we have the flexibility to spend it in certain ways according to the priorities in which we are identifying as a district, as a committee. So some of those funds that used to be the restricted funds from Fund 06 are now sitting in our Fund 03, our general fund. So we have some issues with regard to how we can spend our general fund dollars. So at this point, we identify that the base grant amount is typically that increase that we were receiving for the next 7 years going on. That is available for the negotiations. Then we have that targeted fund, the supplemental, the concentration, the CTE monies that are used in support of the LCAP for those targeted students that the state is identifying specifically need to be addressed. And again, that's the non-negotiated. Generally, it says generally non-negotiated. We do have instances where some districts, and we have the opportunity to be able to use some of that restricted money through the LCAP, but that would be the situations where you had an increased school day, or you have multiple day or more days in the calendar. So if you increase the amount of time you're spending with the students, it's justifiable. If you're extending the number of days that teachers are working, then it's also justifiable in that type of situation. So right here we have the funding summary. So in
Mr.
the previous...
Rabing, could I ask you, can you go back to the last slide just real
Sorry,
quick? One more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just real quick, I think it's really important. Chris said something, very important, the difference in the old funding model and the new funding model. And so when we used to show the board and our stakeholders our unrestricted general fund ending balance as an example, that used to exclude all of those restricted funds that Mr. Rabing talked about. And so that's why he's got the lines in there that show the amount within the unrestricted general fund that need to be reserved for either mandated costs, the Common Core money, or the supplemental concentration and CTE. And so you can see, as an example, in 15-16, if you look at supplemental and concentration, there's $4.1 million. And those dollars are targeted to improve student outcomes. They are not available for general spending like our former standalone Fund 03 used to be. So we kind of changed the way the multi-year looks because we wanted to have that stand out because it's very important to notice. Thank you. Sorry, I told you I wasn't going to interrupt, and then I did.
Well, that's okay. Then I'm interrupting her and interrupting you. So a reminder to everybody then that money can only be used to improve student outcomes. And what Hemet and Corona Norco, Riverside Unified, what they did is they extended the amount of contact time students have with teachers. That's the only way they can touch that money. Otherwise, that money has to be spent on targeted programs, from increasing counselors to doing a multitude of things, sending counselors out to the homes to try to encourage kids to come to school more, a plethora of things that you can do. But you cannot spend that money for negotiated agreements. And that's really important and something I think that's been missed by some people in the district.
Thank you, guys. So as they're discussing the LCFF funding summary, we can see that the top items, that would be the one-time mandated cost carryover that came from this year that we haven't yet identified something specific to spend it on, or the one-time mandated cost the governor is talking about presenting in next year. Those mandated costs of almost $2.2 million have a specific requirement for them. We also have the supplemental concentration of the $3.3 million and the CTE funds that are available as well. Again, all $4.171 million of that is that supplemental concentration CTE. Those identified amounts that we have a requirement to spend, or if you look, the totaling of all of that set aside that are restricted is that 6.3. The other part of it, the base grant amount of that $3 million, that's the amount that we look at having as a general unrestricted type of feel to it if you wanted to relate it back to prior funding types. So as we continue on, in looking at the LCFF, we have additional considerations. We have the statutory increases. So currently in the CSEA bargaining units, we have the step increases, we have the health and welfare increases that were negotiated, and then we have the increase to Cal PERS that the governor has inputted into the budget. Then if you look at the PSEA, we again have the step increases, we have the health and welfare increases, and again that STRS increase is something very significant to us as it continues to work through. And then again, you have the same thing with the management and confidential bargaining unit. So at this point of that base grant money, we have statutory costs of $1.9 million of it already spent just because of what's happening with the health and welfare increases, the step and column increases, and then that governor's increase to the STRS and the PERS rates. So I have a simple graph or calculation for you here. It just talks about the base grant less the statutory increases, leaves us about $1.088 million. We do look at that point what the cost of a 1% increase for any one of our bargaining units are. Typically, we're looking at as a whole what the increase would cost to raise salaries by 1%. Our district cost would be $507,000 to increase our salaries by 1% in the district. So at this point, in the future, what we're looking at doing is looking at next steps. We're looking for the positive certification as a recommendation. Following this, we have the governor's May revise that we'll be looking at. If there's any changes to his current budget, we'll be able to come back and have some other increases. What we, Ms. Savage has talked about is the continued communications with the community and the LCAP process. We also have to identify what we're spending that Common Core mandated cost money on. So that's still coming up to be able to put into our budget. Any negotiated compensation increases will also go into our budget. And then finally, our final presentation for after the governor's budget will come in June. And then following that enacted state budget, we'll have 45 days to finalize.
And everybody knows there's still $2 billion more in Sacramento, and nobody knows what Governor Brown is going to recommend to the legislature or what they'll finally decide. But clearly, we'll see how that money comes to us. If it comes restricted, if it comes to Common Core, if it reduces the gap, none of us really know for sure.
Wonderful. Do you guys have any questions for me? I apologize for going so long, but is there something I can answer for you at this point? All right, wonderful. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Okay, please vote on that. Okay, here's the big one, huh? Action item, Board Policies, Instruction Series 6000. I need a motion.
So moved.
I second.
Okay. information.
Yes, Mr. Bennett is just on his way up to the podium. We will frame this again. A reminder to the governing board that Grant came and spoke to you at the last board meeting, and we are strongly recommending the elimination of geography. There still will be AP human geography. There's a teacher at Paloma Valley who teaches it and gets tons of kids to sign up for it. And, of course, health would become part of physical education. And as a reminder, that's where most districts have gone in this county and this state. And one of our metrics is improving A through G. So clearly we feel very strong about it. And, Grant, I know you had some prepared comments as well.
Well, thinking back to the presentation on A through G, that's how we're going to be judged on a lot of what we're doing. And we were not aligned with that, with what our graduation requirements were. So we looked at that and determined the courses that weren't going towards A through G, and that was geography and health. And really, the geography class won't be totally eliminated. It'll become an elective class. And I've already had teachers come in, because whether it's no longer a graduation requirement and only an elective, they want to revise the class because they don't feel like it's meeting the needs of the kids. So I've already had them in working on that to revise it. They want to make it a more dynamic class that would attract kids to that course. So moving it to an elective, that they're working towards that already. We're one of two districts that had geography as a graduation requirement going in right now. Just us and Val Verde were the only two.
Paris, huh?
Only in Paris.
Only in Paris.
And I'm not sure if I shared with you the background behind why the geography course was brought in. When I was principal at Paris High School in 2000, back then there was a CST test for ninth graders in history and geography, and our students were doing poorly. They weren't doing well on that CST test. Well, the county came in and worked with us as an IIUSP school, immediate intervention underperforming school program. And they recommended we bring that course in, and that's when we devised the course and brought it in. But they did away with that CST test now for the freshman kids. Now we don't even have a social science CST SBAC test. We just have English and math. So the course has kind of run its course, I guess.
Run its course. That's good.
That it served its purpose. That's why we had it in place. But now it's a time we need to look at revising what we're doing, because we're going to be judged as a district and schools on how many kids we have meeting those A through G. And with that, foreign language or fine art, that's having kids not be able to meet those A through G requirements because it's not part of the graduation requirement. So the recommendation here is to remove those courses as graduation requirements and make health into the PE class and geography as an elective. It'll still be a G elective, which could help the kids with college entrance, but it didn't meet one of the A electives, which the history classes do.
Right. And just, as a social studies teacher, and I don't think I'm this only social studies teacher in this room, but as a social studies teacher, you can't teach history without teaching geography. So geography will still be part of our curriculum. It'll just be incorporated into social studies. And I think, as Grant has said about health before, health will go from 18 weeks to 12 weeks. But that's the way it's done other places, and we're more than willing to actually pay our health teachers to come in and help us redesign the course, how it's going to work.
I have a plan in place already to have them come. Any teacher that's interested in coming in and working on it, we'll get a sub for them. We'll have them come in. We'll work on redesigning the course to meet the needs of the kids. For the most important thing, a lot of what we do, the adults get in the way of what's important for the kids. And designing a course that's going to meet the needs of the students and help them move forward. I've gone out to every school and I've met with the social studies teachers at the schools, and really their biggest concern was, is somebody going to lose their job? And I stressed to them, no one's going to lose their job. We're not laying anybody off because of these changes. And that's when they talked about wanting to revise the course when I was out at Paloma Valley. And then I've also met with all the health teachers out at the schools, been out to and Ms. Clifton had the biggest concern. Every other health teacher felt like they could work with it and make it happen within the 12-week period.
So it's realistically you can get 18 weeks into a 12-week class. You feel that way?
Right. They're going to have to revise maybe how long they're doing certain things, but the topics that they're required to cover, they can meet that in a 12-week period. And I also Ms. Clifton talked about a lot of students want more because they enjoy her class, and I suggested to her is we could have her come in and write a advanced health course, which kids as an elective and get it into a G electives, and kids could choose to take that class as one of their elective courses also.
So basic health would be required essentially as part of PE.
Right.
And then they would be able to take extra health class as an elective, and that would be an 18-week course?
We'd have to sit down and design it. It could be 18 weeks. It could be 36 weeks. It depends on how the people that are going to write the advanced course would design that.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I said this to the board members individually, and I don't mind saying it publicly. I cannot think in my 8 years of one vote that is more critical for this governing board than to approve this recommendation. This is about students. It's about A through G. And, as far as the adults are concerned, all the teachers, the administrators, we'll all figure it out. We'll all make it work. But really, if we're trying to increase students' ability to take foreign language and fine arts beginning in 9th grade in our district, so they get their taste of Spanish, they get their taste of art or ceramics, they get their taste of the kinds of things that they need to do and be successful in order to not only complete high school, but be ready for college. To me, I can't emphasize to the board enough how important this vote is from the perspective of the superintendent.
Turn your mic on.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm concerned that they are locked together.
Well, they're locked together because they're each a semester class. So they've been taught in this district as you take health first semester, geography the second, or vice versa. Every single student.
Yeah, I'm talking about fine arts and foreign language.
Right. That's our current graduation requirement, has them locked together as in one category. With this change, they'd be separated. So they'd have one year of a foreign language, 1 year of a fine art. They'd be required to do both.
So what the students aren't going to be taking, underwater basket weaving. We really are going to have them work with our counselors to get them in to those more rigorous classes.
But every college looking for underwater basket weaving.
Only at USC.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
It's true, but sorry, Fred.
Do we have any more questions?
I just have a comment. Right. I was reading the mission statement of the Paris Union High School District, and basically, the mission statement is what we do here at Paris Union High School. Sorry.
It's his master's in governance training coming.
And it is to provide quality educational programs and meaningful opportunities for our students so that can translate into helping them become productive members of society. I think this decision in making this change, since it's based on data analysis as a result of the program that we did with our RCOE, is going to increase the A through G requirements. And not only because we are going to be judged by that, how Mr. Grant said, it's because it's the right thing to do, because that is going to benefit our students. And we need to filter every decision, is this going to benefit our students? And when I think how that is going to benefit our students, I know that a lot of people, they might say, no, not everybody is going to go to college. That's true. But I want my students, I want my own son and my own daughter to go to college. It's the same way that I look at the students of the Paris Union High School District, like if they were my own kids. So I want the best thing for them. And this is the best thing that we can do for them. We are going to put the students first without putting the teachers last, because we are not going to lay off any teacher. We are not affecting the teachers. This is a win-win situation. And the most important thing, one more time, I think is the right thing to do. Our demographics, our students here, based on the demographics, deserve that we act upon this important issue. We cannot continue to hear that minorities, that Hispanics, that African Americans, that is a small percent of them who go to college. They can go to college. We believe in them, but we need to provide these meaningful opportunities for them. So when we have the Spanish class and the art class, that is going to have them one more step to complete the requirement of foreign language, and they are going to be completing the requirement for arts, and at the same time getting their high school diploma. So that's the comment that I wanted to make, that we are doing this for the students, and it's a win-win situation, and I'm glad that we are doing this because that is going to benefit our students. And one more time, not only because we are going to be measured on that, it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
No? Okay, well, I do have a comment from Ms. Cooley. She could not be here today. I will read her email to me verbatim. So these are straight from Ms. Cooley's thoughts. My reasons for wanting geography and health to remain required. I believe that geography and health should be required as they are now. Otherwise, it will become a default program and students will not take it. When one of our own students, Paris Union High School District, wants to travel to a foreign country to visit Louisiana, that's just one glaring example. Geography is a prerequisite for U.S. history and world history. Students need that foundation to learn about the economics of all the different nations, and that will make them better prepared for history. You want students to learn as much as possible about all the countries so they are better informed, and teachers will not be blamed for them not knowing states from countries. One could find lots of arguments for requiring health education. It builds students' knowledge, skills, and positive attitudes about health education. It teaches about physical, mental, emotional, and social health. It motivates students to improve and maintain their own health, prevent disease, and reduce risky behaviors. It will help students learn skills they will use to make healthy choices throughout their lives. It also promotes learning in other subjects. Healthy students learn better and do better in school. They have higher attendance, better grades, and perform better on tests. If you take the requirement away, students are the big losers, and it is only a semester. We don't have to follow suit on every other district in Riverside County. Maybe Val Verde and Paris are the two remaining smart, quote-unquote, districts. Just my 2 cents worth. Thanks, Joan Cooley. So that's what she had to say about the situation.
Yeah, and so what I have to say is, when cell phones came out, I remember I said about me in the time that when I came to education is when they rode horses to school. Yeah, and so when the cell phones came out, and I was used to, the calendar and the smartphone actually, right? And I was hanging on passionately. No, I didn't want to go there, and so, and I'm a superintendent of the district, right? And so in Monterey County, and so I was, dragging my feet on that. And a board member showed me, hey, you can do this and do that. And he was a high school dropout to boot. And he was showing me a thing or two. And I said, wow. And so you know what? I changed, I didn't want to work that hard or whatever, for whatever reason. And, we're passionate about things that we like, enjoy, we're used to, we've always done it this way and that sort of thing. Well, if you listen and listen closely, you'll figure out, and Jose said it wonderfully, but in my business card for the 21 years I was superintendent, it said, if not us, who? What was it? If not now, when? If not us, who? We got to do the right thing for our kids. And yeah, there may be some cons, but most of them are negligible. So it's I look at it's the right thing to do, like Jose said. So anyway, I'm very, very much in favor of doing this and doing the right thing for kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Agundes. And I feel that a lot of stuff that I was going to say has already been said, so I won't belabor the point. So if anybody has anything else to say, this is the time. No? Okay. Please vote. Okay. Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, information item. New course, STEM Automotive. Nobody. Okay, that's fine. I know it's information. I didn't know if anybody was actually going to give us information. Okay. Next information item is new course, Medical Interventions, meets A to G requirements. Number 14.3, information item, Buildings and Grounds, information regarding potential mitigation agreement.
Mr. President, is it out?
I'm sorry, did I go back?
So I know it's late in the evening, but we actually wanted to present just a little bit of information to the board, because at the next board meeting, we would plan to bring back to you a mitigation agreement for your approval, if that's how you so direct us to. I'm going to invite Dr. Good up to the podium, but just real quick, while he's making his short distance up here. I know we haven't done this a lot in this district, but oftentimes when we're preparing to build schools, there are developers, near and around the property. We all the time hope, but count on those developers to help share in the cost of the expensive things, such as infrastructure and those sorts of things. This particular developer that Dr. Good's going to talk about approached Dr. Greenberg and I initially wanting, number one, a resolution of support from you as the Board of Trustees for their project. We in turn turned Dr. Good, and I want to give some special kudos to Hector Gonzalez, our Director of Facilities. They went through months and months of negotiations with this developer, and very much like we did for, I know it's way, way, way down the road, but High School 4, we're able to get the developer to basically put in writing what their commitment to our school will be, and so that's a great financial burden off of our shoulders. So let me let Fred tell you a little bit about the project and what the agreement would say, and then you can go ahead and direct us for next month.
And Fred, I know you didn't major in underwater basket weaving at USC. You were capable. Yes. It's not A through G. It's not A through G.
When that's Joe's job. Thank you. I've done it before and I've lived, so. But at any rate, so the two new school projects are both on exactly the same timing, the same development process, and the goal is, because you pass the community pass Measure T, is to get in line for matching state funds. There are no state funds right now, but that makes it even more important that we do what we're bringing to you tonight. Dr. Rouse, I think you might be the only board member that maybe isn't familiar with this site, but very quickly go down the 215 freeway to Scott Road, go east about 2 miles to Leon, and go north, and it's at the corner of Leon and Wickard Road. Why that is interesting is because pre-2008, development, 1990 started in Menifee Lakes, moved Mrs. Twyman towards your house, was moving towards Bell Mountain, about ready to crest the hill towards this site. 2008 came and development really stopped. What is interesting is the area, we picked this high school location, Candace, out of 15, 20 different sites that we looked at, because in the long-term view of the world of in the Menifee area of the district, this is equidistant to the east side of the freeway from where Paloma Valley is on the west side. So in the grand scheme of planning, it would make a great high school attendance area with the high school right in the middle for this and with Paloma on the other side of the freeway. And especially if unification were to occur in Menifee, it would be great planning for them. But when you drive out there right now, it does seem like it's out in the middle of nowhere. And as Candace mentioned, it became even more important to find a development partner to bring sewer, to bring water, to improve streets. So Hector and I have really, really worked hard on this. And just candidly, we're bringing an extraordinary solution, to the board. It's about a $2.13 per square foot payment that we have wrestled, argued, to get them to agree to this point. Whereas if they came into the district, as a normal developer, they would be required by law to pay 85 cents. So that's a tremendous, upcharge. Along with that, they are building a sewer facility of which they're building it. We would hook into it. They are building street improvements altogether above and beyond the mitigation amount of about $3.3 million, would be $1 million about in additional improvements that we would get. With an extraordinary request on our part comes a little bit of an extraordinary request on their part. And Dr. Greenberg and I, many months ago, appeared before the County Board of Supervisors explaining why we are really supporting this project on your behalf. Normally, school districts don't do that. It's our job to really respond to development if and when it comes. But this is such a positive benefit for the current Paris Union High School District. If Menifee were to unify, this is a very responsible thing that we're doing, trying to develop a partnership with an adjacent developer. And it's a touchy project because it's 170 acres that currently are zoned for estate density, which is one dwelling unit per 2 acres. On this 170 acres, their development proposal is to put 520 homes. But it's the first of what I believe will be several developments like this around the high school project. So what we would be doing is coming to you next month with a mitigation agreement that would include a provision, a resolution that the board would support or supports this project for, frankly, economic and planning reasons. So that's in essence kind of where we're at.
Good question.
Uh-huh.
You said that they're supplying this $2 and some odd cents per square foot, and you said they came asking us for whatever it happens to be. What exactly are they asking from us?
I think they're asking probably two simple things. One would be a resolution from the board that generally just says we, the Paris Union High School District, support the development of this project.
So they could have it rezoned for higher density.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that's an atypical request. I mean, normally, but we're asking for a lot from them. I think the second thing would probably be that they would like someone from the district, and I'm not trying to create work for me, but to me it would be less awkward if I were the one to accompany them to a meeting with Marion Ashley, as an example.
Okay.
I think that would be the kind of support that they would be looking for.
And that would be at the county supervisor level to
Yeah.
make that change? Okay.
County supervisor, city of Menifee, community meetings, that kind of thing. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Did you say something about irrigation?
Yes. The reason that we think this is important is because, the community has passed Measure T, which funds half of the construction of the new high school, half of the new middle school. Without the state program, I know that Menifee wants the second school, but without the state program and that other half of funding, it becomes that much more important that we go out and have developers participate in the funding of the construction. So we think it's a benefit towards, potential unification.
Now, go ahead. Okay. And so how much would normally you said it's 85 cents, and now it would be $2 and so many cents. 13 cents. So you might not be able to come up with that number, but so we're going to make double, and we don't know what that. Double. Yeah, more than double. We don't know what that number is because we don't know how many square feet they're going to put in there, or we have some guess.
It's about 240% of what we would normally collect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know the dollar.
Oh no, I do. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's
2 million, 3 million.
It's about $3.5 million plus $1 million in sewer and street improvements.
Yeah, that's big. That we don't have.
Right. Yep. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Good. Okay. Information item on board policies, philosophy, goals, objectives, and comprehensive plan, Series 0. Information item on board policies, community relations. Information item on board policies, students, Series 5000. Information item on board policies, instruction, Series 6000. And information on board policies, board bylaws, Series 9000. Okay. Closed session?
No, sir.
Not necessary. Good answer. I learned from the best. Okay. Do not need to reconvene. Other items by the superintendent?
None.
Another good answer. Other items by the Board of Trustees? Dr. Rouse?
No.
No? Ms. Twyman? Mr. Gundes? And none for me. I do want to say that I really am going to miss the chance of being at the Paris High School this Saturday for the sports challenge. I will be out of town, but I really enjoy watching all the students compete and the athletes out there mentoring the other students. It's really awesome to see. So if you do get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. It's a great day. And motion for adjournment?
I second.
Okay, please vote. Okay. We got two more, so it's okay. Yeah, we got a small one. Okay. Okay, you may join the meeting now. I'm sorry. We ended that we needed that was ended at 8:18. Yeah. That was my bad, sorry. Yeah, got her napping. Okay, everybody in? It should be open. Okay. Call to order this Community Facilities District number 92-1 meeting. It comes to order at 8:19. Invitation to address the Board of Trustees. Any takers? Nope. Action items. General functions, approving the minutes of the Paris Union High School District, legislative body of the Community Facilities District number 92-1 special board meeting of January 21st, 2015. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ed and Carolyn. Okay, please vote. Okay. Action item, business resolution number 17, 14, and 15 of the board, 14 and 15 of the Board of Trustees of the Paris Union High School District, acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District number 92-1 of the PUHSD, stating its intention to annex territory to Community Facilities District number 92-1 of the PUHSD, and to levy special taxes within such annexation territory and taking related actions. Do I have a motion?
I second.
Thank you. Please vote.
Mr. President, did you want me to explain the CFD items, or are you guys okay?
This is the same from 2 months ago, correct?
They slightly different. These are this is to annex the homes into the community facility district. In December of 14, we annexed them into the district, so this would allow us to levy taxes on them.
Okay.
The next item is to approve the boundary map. And then 30 days, or after 30 days of you taking this action, we have to have you approve additional items, which I believe Dr. Greenberg or Lori sent you the special board meeting in April. So
Yeah, it's
just
in
real
April.
quick.
Okay. Okay, action. This is for the boundary map, like you said, for resolution number 18, 14 to 15. This is approving and ordering the recording of an annexation boundary map of proposed annexation territory to Community Facilities District number 92-1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
I second.
And don't everybody jump out of your seats at once. Please vote. Okay. And motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
Please vote. Did you vote no to adjourn? You want to be here longer? Did you even vote? Yes. Oh, she voted no. That's what she Okay, well, we still have a 3-1 majority, so I guess we are adjourned at 8:23. Okay.
Carolyn, did you actually mean yes, though? Mrs. Twyman, you meant yes, correct?
Yes.
Malfunction of the computer.
Technology.
Okay.
Join meeting?
You may join the meeting now. Everybody in? Okay. Okay, this meeting called to order at 8:24. Invitation to address the Board of Trustees on closed session items only. None, no takers. Do we need closed session?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, revision, adoption, ordering of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, please vote. Okay. Any introduction of promoted and/or new employees?
No.
Okay. Principals update.
Well, we are so fortunate tonight to have our two talented assistant principals from CMI. We have Ruba Tay and Robin Davis, and Ruba is going to stand in for Michael Rhodes, who's on the injured reserve list right now.
Well, I want to start by thanking all of you. That's the first time they stay. All of you. Well, no, you usually stay. Sorry. You usually stay. I'm sorry. I messed up. I shouldn't have said anything.
It is a big audience right now.
It is. I feel special. Okay.
As you're talking about half.
As what?
As you're talking about half.
No. Right. Okay. Well, good evening. A quick update besides what Miguel told you. 3 main things. WASC, we had, as you know, and thank you for coming and supporting us. It went great. They did the final report, and cabinet members came, and thank you for that as well. They were very happy with the relationship that the district and as a charter we have together. And I think this speaks tons, millions, volumes. There you go. Sorry, foreigner. Okay. I can still play that card, right?
How many languages do you speak again?
5.
Okay.
It's one of those English.
Yes, I just can't get it. Anyway, well, so WASC went well. Enrollment numbers. So we did our legacy and new enrollment. We had a full week. I am happy to say that this year we already filled our 5th grade. I have already 6 on the wait list, so if I get more, I'll open another section. I had to open 2 extra sections of 7th grade because we're growing. So our 5th grade, we have so far 64. 5th grade, 64. And then 6th grade, it's not full. We have space for it. We have a total of 120. 7th grade, we have 150. And then we opened 2 more sections because I had 46 on the wait list. And I still have some more that are coming in. So we're growing. The numbers will be updated. 8th grade, 168, 150, 150, 150. That's what's allocated for 9, 10, and 11. I do have some spaces for 10th grade. 9th grade, we're full. I have 19 on the wait list. And then seniors were full. So that's for next year. So we were very happy about that. And then... So WASC, enrollment number, and I remembered something at 8 o'clock, but now it's 8:30, so I think I'm going to wrap it up if you don't have any more questions. No, but this was the main 2 things, basically, the enrollment and WASC, and and Cassie, but everything went well today. I had only 3 absentees between the 2 days. Yes, and they're going to owe me push-ups for not coming. That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tay. Okay, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on agendized and non-agendized items. Nope. Okay. Consent calendar, do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
And a second. Thank you. All right, please vote. All right. Action item, personnel. The district submits their initial proposal to negotiate with California Military Institute Teacher Association for the 2015-16 school year. I do need a motion.
So moved.
Ed and Carolyn.
And Governing Board, again, this is one of 2 agenda items. One is us submitting an offer to them to talk about certain things at the bargaining table. And the next item is theirs back to us. So this will begin the negotiations process with the CMI Teachers Association.
Okay, thank you for the information. Any questions? Nope.
No questions.
Is there a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
On both, correct? Mrs. O'Dell? Just one.
That I have to check the next item.
Okay.
Normally, yes.
Okay, this is opening the public hearing at 8:29. Okay, please vote. Okay, any takers on talking? Nope. Okay, it is closed at 8:30.
Is it 8:30? That is an awesome clock. Just so you know. Did you just change it? That is an awesome clock. You can see the time from there.
Okay, please vote on this. Did you put that in, Joe?
Yeah, that's what they say. Just so you can see it's bragging about it.
Chosen by Joe.
So if it's not level.
Okay, so
No
yeah,
public hearing on their item.
no public hearing. Okay, so we do have an action item on the California Military Institute Teacher Association Sunshining Up Proposals 2015 to 16. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion?
Second. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, please vote. Thank you. Other items by the superintendent?
I just want to add to what Rube has said about the WASC visit. The cabinet was there. Dr. Rouse came. Mrs. Cooley was there on that Sunday as well. Dr. Rouse was just great. He spoke about how well they're doing on virtually all the metrics that we look at and how successful they are, in spite of the fact that they run a free and reduced lunch rate of, over 90% at CMI. And then when the visiting committee left, it was almost as if they struggled to come up with recommendations. They were talking about, well, we can do a better job implementing the Common Core. Well, yeah, it's just coming in this year. It's coming in this year everywhere. But they literally were enthralled with CMI. We told them how great formation looked, and they just had to see that for themselves, and they couldn't believe it. And they talked to students, they talked to parents, they talked to the staff, and I fully expect they're going to get a 6-year accreditation. And I want to thank the assistant principals here tonight because they've been working overtime doing the work of 3 to get all that done. So, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Greenberg. Other items by the Board of Trustees? Dr. Rouse?
No, sir.
Ms. Twyman?
I saw this article in the paper about the resuscitators again in the football field, especially, but out there. It's just something I wanted to talk to you about again.
We can certainly have as an information item, have Judy Miller come and talk to us. You know, there's pluses and minuses. I realize there's a parent in Murrieta who I feel horrible. His child died. They believe that if there had been a defibrillator there, that it may have saved the child's life. My personal opinion, and again, I'm not going to stand in the way of Mrs. Miller coming here and informing you and having you make the decision, not me. But my experience with defibrillators are they've got to be in the right place at the right time, and somebody has to know how to use it. And it's really not a guarantee. I mean, it's just not. And it costs districts a ton of money. And if you do it right, you have to train everybody to know how to use it. And really, one at a comprehensive high school, I don't know where you'd put it. Maybe you'd put it in PE, but then, and to be honest with you, we have more concern about staff members having cardiac arrest than students. And again, I'm not saying we don't want to save staff members either, but there's a lot of issues. And I certainly will have Judy Miller come and present those issues. And if the board wishes us to move forward with it, of course, I will support that. But I do want you to know it's in the newspaper, you read it, and it sounds like just a slam dunk. Why wouldn't every school have 3 or 4 defibrillators in different places? Yeah, it's very complicated. And I don't know, Dr. Rouse, do you have defibrillators in Arupa?
We don't know that.
Yeah. So, again, that does. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it, Mrs. Twyman. I just think that Judy Miller is more really the expert and can talk to you about it. But again, if the will of the board is to have defibrillators, we'll certainly do what the board instructs us to do. It's not a hill to die on for me.
Dr. Gundes?
No.
None for me. Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
Okay, please vote. All right, and the meeting is ending at 8:35.
You'll fill the agenda with items like you only have one.
This is different. Go to settings.